Alexi Boyd is the CEO of the Council of Small Business in Australia, COSBOA, and she joins me now. Alexi, a couple of months ago you stood side by side with the unions at the Jobs and Skills Summit, broadly supporting these IR changes. Now you've done a bit of a U-turn. What has happened this week that's driven that change?
Well, look, when we stood at the Jobs and Skills Summit, we were supportive of finding simpler and flexible arrangements for small businesses to be able to employ people. We also had a memorandum of understanding to have a conversation about what we can do to work together to make that actually happen. That's what was basically discussed. Unfortunately, because of the largesse of this bill and how complex it is, we have not had the opportunity to do that. We are all focused on working through this bill and trying to make it as applicable to small businesses as possible, give the small business perspective, and that's what we're focused on right now. What we're focused on, importantly, is trying to make the IR system a process that small businesses can engage with, that actually gets them employing as many people as possible, make it simple, make it fair. But ultimately, down the road, we need to look at the modern award system to make it more appropriate and reflective of the modern workplace.
Were you sucked in by the rhetoric from the unions? How unhappy are your members right now?
Look, what our members are focused on is trying to get through this bill and understand what it means for their small business cohort. Essentially, there's a lot of parts to it. There's a lot of impacts on small businesses, and we're working through what those unintended consequences may be for small businesses of all sectors of the economy, and that's where the focus is right now. And so we're working with the government, we're working with the crossbenchers, and we're working with the independents, everybody who wants to make things better for small businesses. But importantly, we need to see some action to protect small businesses from the unintended consequences of that. That's what our members are focused on. We met with them recently, and they are saying that they're hearing from small businesses there is a real concern about the multi-employer bargaining. We're reflecting those sentiments.
The business lobby groups AIG, ACCI, Business Council, Minerals Council, they've all come together. It seems, though, that your business group has been at odds with them. Are you going to work together now with the overall business sector to try and improve this proposed legislation?
We made a really clear statement a couple of weeks ago that came together with the other business groups, saying that now that we've had the opportunity to see the bill, see what what's part of the bill, the potential unintended consequences for small businesses, that we believe, alongside the other business groups, that firstly the multi-employer bargaining needs to be carved out, examined very, very carefully, given everybody the opportunity to show what that perspective is, and from our perspective, that's what it will mean for small businesses. But importantly, we need to look at what this carve-out might look like, and it needs to reflect what small businesses are right now. If you look at a small business, they are not 15 headcount. That's a teeny-weeny business that may employ a few casuals, perhaps school-aged children, and that's how they make up their workforce. That is not a big business, but that's what we're looking at, saying it's got to be reflective of the modern workplace, and 15 headcount is simply not it anymore.
Is the big fear multi-employer bargaining will result in strikes? One example might be you own a chicken shop, and a chicken shop 3 kilometres away down the road has a problem with its employees. They go on strike, and then your own staff then go on strike as well to support them. So how big an issue is this going to be?
What we haven't had the opportunity to do is to go back and forth with our members to really get what those small business case studies would mean under different circumstances. And that's what we're seeking. We need more time to be able to offer those examples and say this is where the concern is. But right now, after speaking to our members, what we're hearing back from them is that small businesses are very concerned, and we have to be reflective of that. They're worried about what it might look like. And there's multiple parts to this bill. There's multiple changes. And as we keep saying to government, every area of policy affects small business. Any reform in any piece of policy, the knock-on effect is that small business owner has to spend more time doing the admin, filling out the forms, figuring out what their needs are, what they have to do to be compliant, and less time working on their business, growing it, and in fact employing more people. What we're concerned about is this bill is a disincentivization, or it disincentivizes employment for small businesses. We want to see more people being able to be employed. We want to see the flexibility in that employment process to encourage more small businesses to take on employees.
The government wants to rush this legislation through before Christmas. Do you think that's achievable now with all the opposition to the bill?
We'd have to leave that to the government to pursue the timelines. But what we are seeking and what we're really asking for is to give us a reasonable amount of time to be able to prosecute such a difficult, complex bill. Like I said, there's many aspects here that could have consequences for small businesses. An organisation like ours and an organisation like ACCI and BCA, we all need time to understand what the consequences could be and be able to feed that information back to government so that they can make an informed decision. And we're very much aligned with Senator Lambie and Senator Pocock, who are seeking more time for just that to occur.
Do you think your organisation has taken a bit of a reputational hit over this? Are your members happy right now?
Absolutely. We've got support for our members, from our members, in terms of what it is that we're seeking. But it's an evolving conversation. They are giving us feedback now because they've had the opportunity to look at the bill, wash it through their membership, find out what their concerns are. Like I said, that all takes time. And we're finally at a place where we can actually start to feed that information back again. But the concern from our members is that we need to see this bill slowed down. We need to see it broken up into parts, particularly the multi-employer bargaining, which is causing the most grief and concern for small businesses. And so what we need to see is that happening at the very least. And then we need to work through the process with government. And that's what they're asking us to do.
Alexi Boyd from COSBOA, thanks for your time today.
Great to chat. Thank you.